guys, and welcome back to an episode of Off the Shelf. I'm your host, Ronan Time HD, and this week, what we found off the shelf was...
You should know the situation is not good.
Each night before you go to bed, my baby, whisper a little prayer for me.
Such a shame you have to tell all those little white lies.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the one, the only.
This is dedicated to the one I love. This is dedicated.
Okja, released in 2017. It is directed and co-written by Bong Joon-ho, who is a Academy Award winner, by the way. It is starring, okay, bear with me here, Yeun, very sorry, Paul Dano, Steven Yeun, Jake Gyllenhaal, Tilda Swinton, and Giancarlo Esposito. I believe I got everybody. There's a lot of recognizable faces in this movie. And it is a sci-fi adventure film. And I'm just going to say that I thought this film was pretty good. I enjoyed it, right? I don't really think that I had any major issues with it. I don't even really think I had any notable grievances with it. I just thought overall it was a very enjoyable film. But one, I guess maybe this isn't an issue. It's more of just like a personal thing. I think maybe the first half to me was a little more enjoyable. Maybe that's due to the tonal shift in the second half. I'm not saying that was a bad thing. That's just more a personal preference. I think I liked the film when it was lighthearted in the first half, and there was a lot of comedic stuff and a lot of stupid stuff. Again, not saying the second half was bad. The second half was good. It's just I thought that particularly enjoyed the first half is essentially what I'm saying. I think the first half was particularly enjoyable to me. Not a problem with the movie. But with that being said, what exactly did I enjoy about it? Well, I think generally what I liked about the film was I really did enjoy, I guess, just the whole thing surrounding it. Obviously I liked Okja, the titular super pig in the movie, who was this weird giant hippo looking pig thing, which looked very good. I think the CGI for it looked really good. She was very well done. I think obviously she looked better in some shots than she did in others, but that's a given. Not every shot of a CGI creature is going to look perfect. But I think also I liked her relationship with the main character, Mija, I believe her name was. I really enjoyed their chemistry. I loved how basically the whole movie, Mija's whole goal was just, I need to get my pig back. Right? That was her entire motivation. I don't give a shit what's going on around me. I don't give a fuck who or what's going on. I just want my pig. That's all I want. Just give me my pig and let me go back to my little farm with my granddad in the mountains. Right? All I want. And then she gets dragged into this whole battle between this animal rights activist group and this evil corpo GM food company, and she's caught in the middle of this feud that she really doesn't care that much about, right? Literally. I mean, maybe at the end she starts to care a little bit more, right? But at the beginning, I do like how apathetic she is, and even at the end, she's super apathetic. She's just give me my pig, give me the pig, which I can relate. Pigs are cool. But I've personally, obviously, these super pigs aren't real, but they are I admit, they're very cute. I did feel bad for them. And I guess that's obviously that's the intention of the movie, is basically, animal cruelty. That's basically the whole thing surrounding the film. Obviously, there are, plot-specific stuff, but generally, the film is about, animal cruelty and how terrible it is, and how, is it right to do these things to these kinds of animals, or to animals in general, not even just these kinds of animals. And I mean, it was pretty horrific. I've heard that Bong Joon-ho went to a slaughterhouse to like study for the slaughterhouse scenes in the movie, and he temporarily became a vegetarian. And it's like, if it's that bad, he's like, oh god, it's like, if this is how the meat that I'm eating is made, maybe I don't want to eat meat. If it makes you think that, then maybe you don't want to see it. But maybe it's better to know, to be knowledgeable about these situations, I guess. It probably is better to be knowledgeable about how the stuff you eat is made. I guess that is a better thing to know. Either way, I guess also, one thing I also liked was Paul Dano and, like, all of his guys and just all of his group. Like the ALF, which are apparently a real animal rights group. I didn't know that. I just thought they were like made up for the movie, but no, they're an actual animal rights group. I think that I think that makes the film feel a little more authentic, using an actual real life animal rights activist group as like one of the central like characters in the movie. I think that's pretty interesting. One thing I really like about the film is that they're so persistent, right? They are very persistent on the movement, right? They're not going to give up, right? Because even when they get busted at the end of the film, their plan basically goes to shit, right? Even though it kind of works because Tilda Swinton plays the CEO of the big, like, food company. And she's kind of a fuck up, right? She's kind of a mess, right? And she's like super obsessed with like the wrong things, and like she's super obsessed with how the public thinks of her and like her image and stuff like that. She's like a bunch of superficial stuff basically is what she's obsessed with, and she's kind of running the company into the ground. So the ALF basically completely fuck up her image by showing like, videos that they took of Okja being abused in like a warehouse like laboratory, and basically ruins her entire reputation and fucks with the company's reputation too. So her sister comes in, also played by Tilda Swinton, Nancy, and she's like, well, I'm gonna fix this shit. Our father, like, they were talking about how their father was a terrible guy, crazy guy, but he was a businessman. He knew how to do business. And Nancy is more like him, where she's ruthless, right? She's cutthroat. She doesn't give a fuck. She just wants to make money. She doesn't really care about image or marketing or any of that. If it's cheap, they'll buy it, right? She's like pure capitalist, right? If I can get money, I'll do it, is essentially, like, if you boil it down. And I think she does it really well. And the fact that they they play into that at the end of the film, where the golden pig that Misha's grandfather buys her earlier in the film is like, I guess, like an apology gift for giving away Okja to, well, not giving away, it was always the company's pig. They were just giving her to him to raise her, and then they would bring her back for production. But of course, because it's like solid gold, at least in the film, it's supposed to be like a solid gold pig that's worth a lot of money. So she's trying to like get them, out of the goodness of their heart, just give Okja back to her. She's like, I don't give a shit. Why the fuck should I care? It's my pig, it's my property. I'll do whatever the fuck I want with it. But then she gives her the golden pig, and then she's like, well, this is worth a lot of money. You got yourself a deal. You're talking my language, right? Pure capitalist, right? And I'm not even saying that's a good thing. I mean, it just showed how greedy she was. Even then, like, she didn't care as long as it made her money, right? Which is pretty accurate, honestly, I'd say. I'd say most CEOs nowadays would probably have done the same thing. They probably would have been like, oh, this is worth a lot more money than that pig would have been worth butchering it, so I'll just take it. You can have him, whatever. I just think that was a clever way to end the movie, because also they don't like defeat the evil corporation at the end, because you kind of can't, right? They're too powerful to simply be toppled by, I mean, maybe with enough willpower they could eventually go like bankrupt, or you could fuck with the company enough to where they don't go well, but that'd be a long-term project. Like, you can't do that in one swift motion. It takes a lot of groundwork, essentially, is what I'm saying, to topple a company that big. But one thing I also like at the end of the movie that they imply that that's what they're still going for, right? Like Paul Dano and Stephen Yeun and basically all of his group, they get captured and busted at the end of the movie. And when they're let out of prison, they go straight back to it, right? They're on the bus, out, like, he's, like, on the bus as he's out of prison, and they put on the ski masks. Literally everybody on the bus, except for this one old woman, is a part of this group, and they all put their masks on, and then they hand a mask to the old woman. They're like, you're one of us now. That part was probably one of the funniest bits of the movie, and it was a little end credits bit. I liked that. But it also showed that they're loyal to the movement. You know, they're going to keep going no matter how many times they may be reprimanded for it, which is noble. At least I believe it's noble. And also Paul Dano's great. Like, I just love Paul Dano. So he added a lot to the movie because he's Paul Dano. Either way, with that being said, I've just kind of been rambling, but overall, I just thought the film was really enjoyable. I really liked the messaging, I liked the themes, and overall, I just thought that I liked the, just the characters and the story around it as well, based around the themes and all that. I may be having a bit of word salads here, but basically, to boil down, I liked the movie. It was very enjoyable. And with that being said, would I recommend it? Yeah. I mean, if you like Bong Joon-ho's work after or before this film, if you're a fan of Korean cinema, or even if you're just if you're an animal rights activist, maybe you could get some enjoyment out of this film, for the film also being, it seems like it's an advocate for animal rights, anti-animal cruelty. So I think there's a lot of enjoyment to be had on that aspect. Also, it just being a well-made movie and an enjoyable movie in that aspect too. I would recommend this movie. I think it's a good time in the first half, and then it kind of gets serious in the second half, but it's still enjoyable in the aspect that it is a good movie, not in the fact that there are good things happening. You get what I mean. Either way, what would I rate this film, you may ask? Well, I think I would rate this film a 7 out of 10. And, yeah, I think I've said I think I've said my piece. So, guys, I hope you liked this video. Share it with friends. Subscribe, turn those notifications on, comment below how much you liked it. And I've been Run Time HD, off to save my super pig. So, apparently this film was booed twice at Cannes when it premiered. Not because it was a bad movie, but because the circumstances around it. So when the Netflix logo played, the audience booed, right? Because they just hate Netflix, which I don't blame them. Netflix isn't the best. But then apparently they booed for the first 7 minutes of the movie because it was fucked, and they the projector was the projector was fucking it up, and it wasn't playing in the right aspect ratio, and it just looked weird. So great job with your debut of the film not playing it properly. Great job, Cannes. But apparently they fixed it, and they apologized to the filmmakers, and then it got a 4-minute standing ovation after it finished properly. They got it working, which is nice, but I just think the circumstances around it, I've never really heard of Cannes fucking up a film that much in its premiere. What a great first impression, right? To have it get booed twice, not great. Hey guys, and welcome back to an episode of Ticket Tuesday. I'm your host, Ronan.
It's not fucking Ticket Tuesday.